everybody, I'm Emily, one of the designers here at the Quilted Cow, and I'm super excited to show you one of our other That projects from the December subscription box. This is called the Book Nook Pillow. It is super awesome and fun to make and really quick and easy. So I want to thank our sponsors first before we get to it. So let's thank Husqvarna Viking Machines and Creative Grids Cutters, Mats, and Rulers, and let's get started. All right, so this Book Nook pillow is perfect for taking books with you whenever you're traveling. Make one for the kids in the car, make one for yourself, whatever you need. You can put books in here. You can also go ahead and put your e-reader, your whatever tablet that you might have, charging ports, things like that. You can change up the pockets a little bit if you decided that you wanted to make a divider in your pocket to put charging cords in. That's fine too. It's up to you. You can personalize this as much as you need to. It also has an envelope enclosure, and it is a fully lined backing on this pillow. So grab yourself a kit, head on over to thequiltedcow.com, grab yourself a kit for this. It's going to have all the fabric that you need. The pattern will be sold separately, so make sure that you grab yourself a pattern as well. Or if you happen to get this project in your subscription box, this is the other That project in the subscription box for December. So grab the kit, grab your fabrics, grab your pattern, and let's get started making this. All right, so the first thing that we're gonna do with this pillow is to go ahead and make the pockets. Now you'll notice that there are two pockets and they are at an angle. So let's grab the fabric that we're using for this inside pocket, this one right here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna lay those fabrics right sides together. Now there's no interfacing on these. There really doesn't need to be. They work out nicely like this. So we're gonna lay those fabrics right sides together. And they're measured out, so this is the width of the pillow here, and then this is the height of the pocket. You're gonna measure 3 inches down from the right corner, the right side corner on this piece. So once we do that, measure 3 inches down, grab your ruler and line up your ruler with the top left corner and that mark that is 3 inches down from the top right corner. Draw your line just like that. Once you've drawn your line, then we're going to cut on the line. Now, in all truthfulness, if you want to skip the draw the line step, if you're ready to start sewing on this right away, you're not drawing the line, coming back and cutting it later, just put your ruler on that mark and then also line it up with the corner, make sure everything stays nice and in spot, and then cut that line right there. Get rid of that right there. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and clip these together again because it's just going to hold everything where I want it to be held. Make sure that it's going to hold it just right there. Once I've got that, then I'm going to sew 1/4 inch all the way across that slant right there. So let me go ahead and do that, and I'll show you what that looks like. I'll show you how to press that whenever I get back. Let me make sure my iron is on. All right. And I'm going to sew that, be right back. All right, so let's go ahead and get this pressed open. Show you this process real quick. And it doesn't look like it at first that it's all going to line up, but it will, trust me. So give the seam a press to set it, open that up. And it looks a little wonky right now, but that's okay, everything's going to go together. And then I'm going to lay them wrong sides together and line that up so that all of my raw edges are lined up, and then I'm just going to take my iron and press it towards that seam, and that's going to flatten everything out without me having to do too much work. Once I get that side done, then I'm going to take it from the other side and give it a nice press that way and flatten it all out that way. By the way, as I'm pressing, I'm not pushing the fabric. If I'm moving the iron, I'm kind of lifting the iron as I move it across so that I'm not stretching the fabric as I go. So keep that in mind too, because this is slightly biased and it may stretch a little bit. So make sure that you're not pushing on your fabric and pushing it out of shape. So we've got that pocket done. We're going to set that to the side for a moment. We're going to do the main front pocket. And that one is just a really cool fabric, whatever fabric that you want to use to feature. It's an awesome little, nice little way to do some feature fabric right there. So on this one, we are going to measure 3.5 inches down from the top left corner. Once we've got that measurement done, then we're going to line up that top right corner with that mark and draw your line. Now, once again, if you're getting ready to sew this right away and you're gonna move over to your sewing machine right after you cut it, don't necessarily worry about drawing the line, but if you want to, go ahead and draw your line and then line it up and cut it if you wanna move anything around, however you wanna do it. So now I'm gonna cut from the top right corner to that mark down from the bottom left corner. And now I'm ready to go ahead and sew this together. Let me get that out of the way. Clip it and just sew along that slant just the same way that I did. Press it open the same way I did with that other pocket. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and sew that, press it open, and then I'm gonna actually top stitch both of these. Once I get this one done, I'm just gonna run them through my machine and top stitch along that seam on both of these. And I'm gonna show you what that looks like whenever I get finished. Okay, so now we've got both of our pocket pieces and we've got them both top stitched after we stitch them together and press them down. And they are going to go on the pillow just like this. But for right now, we're gonna set these to the side. We need to go ahead and make the handle right now. So the handle, really, really simple. The measurements are on your pattern, so you're gonna cut your rectangle and then you're gonna press the handle in half, wrong sides together. Once you've got that pressed in half, wrong sides together, you're gonna open it up and then you're gonna press each of those long raw edges in towards the center, just like this, and then fold along that center press again and then give it a really good press one last time. And then we're gonna top stitch down both long edges of this handle. So I give that one more really good press. And then now I'm going to head on over to the machine and stitch this down. One of the things I like to do whenever I set this at my foot in my machine is I like to go ahead and hold my hand just right on top of where I want to lead it through. And that's going to lead that handle nice and straight underneath the foot of my machine. And it makes it easy for me to just zoom through and go real fast. So I'm going to stitch these down and I'll be right back when that's finished. All right, so we've got our handle finished, and now let's go ahead and put this on the front of the pillow itself. So when we're positioning this, we're gonna come 4 inches in from the outside, and we're gonna put one end of the handle, the raw edge, matching the raw edge, on the front side of our pillow piece. So 4 inches in, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm gonna just come and put a little clip right here. And then measure 4 inches, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and make sure that you don't twist the handle. So leave it laying flat, grab the other end and bring it up so that it turns, it does not twist. It's really important with the handles, especially if you're making a bag and you're making handles, putting handles in a bag, make sure that they don't get twisted. So put a clip there. And then I'm just gonna come in and baste these down so that they stay where I want them to go. And 1/8 inch seam allowance, make sure you stay within that 1/4 inch seam allowance. So 1/8 inch and just baste them down real quick. And then I will be back to show you the next step. All right, so now that we've got the handles basted down, now we're gonna go ahead and set this aside and we're gonna work on the backing of the pillow. So the backing of the pillow, it's going to be a couple of larger pieces, and I've gone ahead and done all the top stitching and everything already. But you're going to take each of those pieces and you're going to keep it at the height of the pillow, and you're going to fold them in half, wrong sides together. Once you get that folded in half, wrong sides together, give them a good press so you get a nice crisp line right here on this inside edge. Do that for both pieces, and then take it over to your machine and top stitch all the way down that folded edge. So that's going to give you a nice finished edge whenever you're ready to put your pillow together, and so that your pillow can move in and out easily. So let's go ahead and put this pillow together. So I'm going to lay my pillow, the front of the pillow down. I'm going to put my first pocket, that inside pocket, down on top of that. Now you want to match up all of your raw edges, and by the way, this is all right sides up that we're doing. So the pillow front, right side up, match up all of your raw edges for the first pocket, that inside pocket, right side up, and then we're going to take the outside pocket, Once again, right side up, and match the raw edges along the bottom and the sides. Get everything nice and matched up here. And then it's time to put the backing on. So I'm not going to clip anything yet. We're going to kind of work our way. Once I put the backing on, then we're going to start clipping down. So you're just going to lay one side down. And it's really not very important as to which side you put down first. You want to put the right side down first, that's great. Just make sure that you line up the raw edges on the right side with the raw, all of your raw edges on the right side, and then on the top and the bottom. And now is whenever I start clipping. So I'm going to go ahead and add a couple of clips to this side just to keep everything in place here. Now I'm going to put the left side. Once again, raw edges lined up along the left edge of the pillow. Line up the top and bottom raw edges as well. And we've got this little hump where the handle is. It gets in the way a little bit, so don't worry about that right now. Just make sure that your top and bottom edges on the far edges are lined up. And get this clipped on. And it doesn't matter which side you start on, you're just going to sew 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way around all of the edges. You do want to go ahead and reinforce where this overlap is. So make sure you backstitch over the beginning and end of each of the overlaps, because when you're putting your pillow in and out, if your pillow's a little bit overstuffed, it may actually start to rip the stitches here. So make sure you reinforce that as you're going around. And I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll meet you back here whenever we're finished, and I'll show you how to finish this pillow up. Okay, so we've stitched 1/4 inch all the way around, made sure that everything was laying flat before we did. We went ahead and reinforced where the joins are on the backing to backstitch over those a little bit. If you wanted to, you could also go ahead and backstitch over the pockets, over the handles where the handles meet, and then also where the edges of the pockets are. It's not really necessary, but it's a good idea if this is a children's pillow and you're giving it to a child, to go ahead and reinforce those so that, they kind of get a little bit rough and everything with their things sometimes. So make sure everything is good. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clip my corners, just because I like to have my corners poke out really well. And this is just going to reduce the bulk in those corners. You want to make sure that you don't clip through where those seams cross. You just want to clip off a little extra fabric off of that corner. And then, because I don't like to have a lot of raw edges on the insides of my pillow, even though nobody's going to see it, I like to go ahead and take this back over to the machine and zigzag stitch all the way around just to finish out this edge. Now, unfortunately, I don't know where my zigzag foot is for this machine, so I'm not going to do that to this one, but I might do it later whenever I find the zigzag foot. So turn this right side out. After you have gone ahead, if you wanted to go ahead and zigzag and finish that seam, go ahead and do that. Turn it right side out, and then go ahead and poke out your corners. If you want to, you can press it. It's really not that terribly important unless you've wrinkled it up a little bit in the go along that you need to press out any wrinkles. However, whenever you put your pillow in here, stuff it with a pillow, it's going to fill this out nicely. And you won't have to worry about those edges. So this is the Book Nook pillow, and it is the second that project in your December subscription box. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial, and I really hope that you'll make one of these pillows. They are super fast and easy to put together, great fun to make, and great gifts to give to those book lovers in your life. Go ahead and head on over to thequiltedcow.com, grab yourself a kit. Make sure you do get the pattern, because the pattern is sold separately. The kit will have all the fabric that you're gonna need to make this pillow. You're gonna love it. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our videos. As the more people that subscribe, the more content we get to keep sharing with you. So make sure you go and do that. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.
Okay, you wicked cool quilters, good job. You made it to the end. We would like to thank our sponsors, Husqvarna Viking Sewing Machines, Creative Grids, rulers, rotary cutters, and mats, and Wilmington Prints for the beautiful fabrics. Thanks for watching.